Go ahead and pack up that T-shirt. It's mine.
Okay. Well, we're live, sort of, and we're starting, sort of, but everybody's like fashionably late, so we'll just keep chatting amongst ourselves for the time being.
Jack,
it's already off the rails. Don't worry about it.
Speaking of Phantasm,
yes.
Did you see? I finally got that the ball, the sphere collection.
Yes, I like it.
That thing's so nice. I'm finally going to watch the director's cut of Phantasm 2 tonight. It's supposed to have a bunch more footage. I couldn't find it anywhere else, but it's on that collection.
And that still stands as my favorite of the Phantasm movies. It's just so creepy. Just Oh, we lost you again on your volume.
Yep, volume's out, but he's talking about the sphere.
Yep.
All right, how's that?
There you go.
The guy that Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie Bannister.
Yeah. We, me and she was then my girlfriend, now wife, met him at a horror or Fangoria convention in Manhattan. I'm talking 25 years ago at least. And my wife, she wanted to talk to him and get a signed photo or whatever and stuff. And she's from the Philippines, so she was a little timid back then, but not a lot. Okay, but some like nerd just comes up and tries like pushing right past her to get in front of her. She was like about to talk to the actor, and he flipped out on the guy. You had to see it. He was like, "Hey, what do you think you're doing? There's a line. Now go to the back of it, the very back, all the way to the back. Good. He was very, very nice, very polite. We got photos with him posing with the ball, all this other stuff like that. Cool. All that. Yeah, I enjoyed his company immensely.
Reggie's a really nice guy. I used to meet up with him every year at the Comic-Con in San Diego. For every year for 10 years, I'd always meet up with him. He's just kind to everybody, and he'd sit there and pull out his guitar and strum out some tunes, because he promotes himself as a musician more than star Phantasm, which I thought it was cool. And Comic-Con's going on right now, and ever since I moved to Texas, man, I just miss going there every year and meeting all these fine folks. And Reggie was kind of like the family. He knew my kids and everything. We'd all just go up.
Hey, he was a genuinely nice guy, and he didn't put up with rudeness.
Right.
So saved me the trouble. But it's a couple scream queens there.
Tons of people up there.
What happened, Jack? I thought you just got disintegrated. So are we live? Are we on?
Yeah, we're live. We're sort of on.
Do you have any audience yet?
Yeah, not yet. Is Tim here yet? Tim, you here yet?
Wait, so we're talking to nobody?
Well, no. I mean, the whole idea though is we're going to share this thing across the whole internet universe.
Wait till I get my hands on Jennifer for this.
I know. Well, yeah, she sent me a message, said she'd be here ASAP, whatever the hell that means.
She's been draining pools in Arizona today, so.
Oh, it's hot out there. Let me tell you.
Yeah, she's probably at best she looks like a crawler zombie, just trying to make her way to her computer at this point.
Yep.
Well, since we're recording, Dan, you might as well hit me up with your, book question, unless you want to wait for some live people to see if there's any comments or anything like that. Some people I know tried to get in, but they said they had to join the group, and a couple of them applied, but I don't even know if they were accepted.
Check it out, Jeppy.
Let me check it out. No, I approved a couple of people.
You probably approved them then. That was an hour or two ago.
Oh, okay.
I approved a couple of people.
Yeah.
Well, I leave it up to you, Max. I'd love to hear about your book series. I have not read any yet. I'm trying to get caught up. There's so many great books coming out from people I hadn't known before. Jack has turned me on to a few. And I'd like to hear about yours because I was looking at the covers and it just looks like creepy sea monster stuff. And I'm all about it.
You have a visitor.
Angel just said hello.
Angel.
Just call me Angel.
Yeah. We're getting some sings. Well, now, my thing is, do you have one of your books handy?
No.
Damn it. Well, because that was what we did when we had you on Written Undead. You could actually show Dan a little bit of what you're doing there.
Oh,
by
I mean,
reading a
I
little
could
bit.
read it, but when I was reading to you guys, I just pull the file up on the screen in front of me and I read it.
Oh, okay. Well, hell,
You want me to do
it.
that?
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
okay. Sounds good. Let's see.
I'm telling you, we loved it when he did this because I mean, we all sat there like little kids, just engaged at the dinner table, listening to Pops tell a story. You know, just like,
Right.
oh my god! And then he finally had to stop himself. He's like, okay, I'm getting too deep into this right now. Hang on, stop. And we're like, no.
And if we're gonna do that, now is the time to do it before everybody else shows up.
Oh, because
Because once everybody else shows up, it's
That way Jen can complain about missing it.
excellent.
Okay, let's.
Oh, that will be true. That will be her punishment. Is that she
she'll be
missed
pulling
it?
her hair out.
Last month, this must be it. Let's see. I know they went through numerous renditions, but while this thing's coming up, oh no, is that Olaf? Hi, Olaf.
Oh, we got a pet visitor.
Yeah. Hi, boy. I didn't lock the door, and
It's fine. I'm used to having my cat pop through at some point and literally come on camera. And then I had a dog that used to do the same thing. So, and how Patty used to have her dog start wrestling on the bed behind her. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, he's on the desk actually. I don't know if he's going to come within camera view.
Who's your baby? You know, when my dog was alive, you could hear him putting around his nails on the fake wood floor over here.
Yeah, tick tick tick
like,
tick.
what's that noise? I'm like, oh, it's just Diego. But he was just like short, fat dachshund, old as the hills. I didn't even want to lift him up, but yeah, he was an awesome dog.
All right. Oh, so this is Olaf.
Oh, pretty good.
Olaf is one of our Siberian forest cats. He's a baby boy. He's so fluffy. And they get quite sizable.
Yeah.
Oh.
Last time I did that, though, he kicked me, and one of his talons went right into my chest. So I have to be careful because he gets a little weirded out by the microphone and all that stuff, you know. But yeah, I think he's going to be okay. Hopefully, he'll just lie down. He probably wants to be brushed, but I don't have the brush with me. But anyway, so yeah, the Cronus Rising books. It started off as marine terror, meaning in the first novel, you're dealing with a gigantic prehistoric extinct creature from the Cretaceous that's loose in the present. It encounters a variety of other marine creatures, whales and orcas and things of that nature, and people, of course, is part of the story. Then when it went into the Kraken series, well, Diablo, which... who said they were listening to Diablo?
Me. That was me.
That takes place on this caldera where these creatures came from. So, like a lot of people, when you do paleofiction, when you're taking a prehistoric creature, whether you got King Kong or what else, or well, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, there's different ways to explain things. Whether you have like an island that has creatures on it that have somehow survived to the present. If you have genetic experiments, I mean, you've seen all the movies. Giant manises frozen in icebergs. The Beast of 20,000 Fathoms, I think, was done that way too. You know, something in the bottom of the ocean, all these different things. And the problem you have is you want to get this suspension of disbelief where people are like, well, you know, that could really happen. Hey, that makes sense, that kind of thing. It's tougher, though, when you got a sea creature, because how are you going to have a breeding population of these animals, which are air breathers, that have been isolated for 66 million years, and then now all of a sudden we're encountering them. Right. And so what I did was I used the asteroid impact at the end of the Cretaceous as part of the backstory, and I did flashbacks to work it into the first book, so that these marine creatures are out there and they're having a mating chase. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like some fish like pike or carp, where the female's swimming along and then the males are all pursuing,
right,
trying to mate with her, that type of thing. So I set it up where this giant female pliosaur was swimming along, and these males it's like a chase to see who's the strongest, who wins the right to mate with the queen. and they're trying to take each other out along the way and all this other stuff. And as this is going on, boom, Chicxulub, impact, boom. They're 1,000 miles away, but they see this thing and they're blinded temporarily. And then this 3,000-foot wave comes up, sweeps them up, and nearby is a caldera, which for people that don't know from the audience is like a volcano that's exploded out many millions of years earlier. All this stuff is a bowl-shaped depression. So I had this island caldera off the coast of what would now eventually be Cuba. And this thing gets swamped by this wave, which keeps going. And it turns it into an 8-mile wide fish tank, basically. And then you have geothermal heating to keep these creatures alive for ice ages and things like that, et cetera. And they're imprisoned in there, all this life, a whole ecosystem, basically, for 65, 66 million years. Right. So that was the whole backstory behind it. But it expanded in there. Like Diablo was showing what happened on the island, which eventually there was an eruption, which caused it to crack open and release its contents into the sea. See, so there you had terrestrial stuff going on. You had, your King Kong type Cro-Magnons, though, in the story living there, isolated for 20,000 years, that, of course, worship these creatures as gods and sacrifice their dead to them and criminals and things of that nature, which is really cool. Like, they had this raft that they would, like, send down a slide, with like a big rope attached to it, and then they would get, eaten, and they'd reel in what was left of the raft, etc. But so that was like a big prequel, I guess you say. And then now it's moved into this whole futuristic thing, almost a dystopian type of setup, because when you release predators like that into the oceans, and as we all know, our sharks are getting wiped out, and whale populations are still at 5 or 10% of what they used to be. So there would be nothing to keep a marine predator like that in check. Like snakeheads that get in and they start to multiply in lakes and rivers, and nothing can stop them. Same type of thing. So now you go into the future, which is now 2045 in the story, and these pliosaurs are now taking over the oceans of the world. They've crashed fish stocks. They've caused irreparable harm, and the ramifications are all encompassing. And other animals, creatures have been sucked into this as well. So the Kraken books, hence the name, part of what I did for the story is I developed this enormous species of abyssal octopus that is big or bigger than a blue whale, and the octopi live on the extreme depths, and they feed on sperm whales. So that's their prey. So when sperm whales go down looking for squid sometimes to eat, they don't come back because there's something down there, that actually feeds on them.
That's bigger than they are.
Yeah. Right. And so now with the whale populations getting more and more reduced, including pliosaurs eating them, these octopi are starting to starve, and they're beginning to come closer to the surface. And then this pair of them realizes they attack like a vessel, and they think it's like a huge whale. And then they're like, no, but wait, there's something edible here. Wait, what's that? Ooh, here's an hors d'oeuvre here. These little things.
Some berries off the bush.
Right.
And it comes complete with toothpicks.
There you go. Right. Exactly. So, of course, my octopi are a little nastier. That's the thing when you do a story. There's so many tropes out there. You don't want to do what's been used so many times before. I mean, I could think of so many movies that have had huge octopi in them. War of the Gargantuas. The recent King Kong Skull Island movie. I mean, everywhere in between. There's, I'm sure Godzilla fought an octopus at some point. But so mine actually have, in order to help them grip slippery cetaceans, their suckers exude a molecular acid. See? So when they grab you, they don't just grab you. It burns like right through. See? So if you grab something small like a person, you like melt in half. They can melt steel and all sorts of stuff like that. So they're quite dangerous. And so that whole thing was set up, and it just goes on and on. But there's been a lot of terrestrial stuff of late as well. People have been going back to Diablo Caldera to find out what happened there in the first place, and discover there's other prehistoric creatures there. There are some terrestrial prehistoric creatures, a lot of different things. So, you got to keep it interesting. It's like Alien sets the stage. Aliens is like the culmination of that.
Right.
See,
right. Right.
You want to keep everybody enjoying it, excited, not knowing what's happening next. That's how you keep your audience, and why I have people like, so when's the next book? When's the next book? I need to know what happens.
Right.
So, which is good. But did you want me to start babbling a scene from this book?
You guys go ahead.
Yeah, Tim finally showed up.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, you wanna?
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh.
Don't worry.
Is that your ninja?
That's the ninja.
You know, I was trying to say before, I actually trained with real ninja back when I was in college, and I'm not kidding. I mean, they were. Oof. I mean, training there actually saved my life once. I mean, it literally saved my life once because somebody tried to kill me with a car, and I was able to leap, roll, and avoid a person trying to kill me with their car.
Ouch.
Because of the training. But it was very damaging. I mean, these people would spar full contact without gear, all sorts of stuff. You know, it was like, I don't miss it. You know, it's like coming home like the walking wounded. There you are.
Yeah, I'm back. That time we actually had a full-on like internet blah.
You're having a lot of internet blah over there.
Dude,
like
I'm in the hood in Gallatin. Come on, man.
Gotcha.
Have you heard anything from Jennifer yet?
I think she might have died
from heat.
Mm-hmm.
From dirty
Tim Brooks.
She didn't like my comebacks.
Tim's in the doghouse.
All right. So
if his comments to his wife are anything like his comments here, I completely understand and I feel her pain.
And where the hell is Jason?
I don't know. I sent him the link, and he hasn't received it yet, I don't think.
I think I gotta go out and get some new drink stock.
I'm going after that food. I'm gonna go with old school. Where you be?
Seriously. Bunch of slackers. Damn it.
Yeah, and now, did y'all ever actually bring up what the hell the topic was supposed to be for this week?
Oh, yeah. The topic is things that make you go, ew.
Well,
let's run with it.
That could work if I pick a good scene for you from this book.
Oh, cool.
Let's see here. I'm trying to find where to start.
Oh, you dumb bastard.
Now I know why he wears that helmet all the time. You did not say that, Tim.
Oh, I can believe he said it. I have no problem believing he said it. You see the comment?
She said
Dale. That is just wrong. That is our comment ninja.
Okay, so
anyway,
Cronus Rising Purgatory, okay, is the novella that came out last month. It's doing very well, which is nice. People are the reviews have been predominantly very, very positive. You know, you get a few assassins out there, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it comes to the territory. Keyboard warriors, whatever. But so basically, to give a little backstory, because I'm just going to dive into the middle of this thing. So the protagonist, the hero, Jake Braddock, who's been in the series on and off from the beginning, he has been experimented on by the antagonist, billionaire type named Eric Grayson, who has subjected him to genetic experiments and turned him into a half man, half pliosaur type creature. So he's now the 7 foot, 400-pound reptilian humanoid who, he has some gifts. I mean, he's super strong. He has webbed hands and feet. He can swim very well. He can hold his breath for hours. And he even has sonar, which is nice.
Basically, he's a badass.
Yeah, he's got that going for him, which is nice, as the saying goes. But his wife was murdered by this Grayson character, etc. And for a decade, he was trapped in this dungeon until he finally escaped. They forced him to eat people. They starved him into becoming cannibalistic, etc. So he has stowed away on this mini sub that Grayson was escaping from this facility, and they ended up in Diablo Caldera, the place you were talking about. Mm-hmm. And this prehistoric, it's got a rainforest and this 8-mile wide lake filled with giant prehistoric nasties, let's call it. And so now Jake is on the run because, as it turns out, Grayson and his minions have been dumping experiments in this island for a decade. People they experimented on, failed experiments that are reptilians, that are just like rabid hyenas, and they will just tear down a person and rip your guts open and eat your intestines while you're still alive. That's what
zombies
they
of the
are.
sea.
So, but they're on land. No, they're not on the water, though. They're usually
okay.
terrestrial creatures. But so there are hundreds of them. And so Jake is doing this running fight. He's got a couple of semi-auto shotguns and a sword with him. And he's carrying Grayson along for the ride because he doesn't want Grayson to get killed by them. He wants to kill Grayson himself. So he's in a tough position, see? So it's an ongoing fight for survival, I guess you say, a running battle. So I'm just giving you a little backstory before I dive into it so that people aren't completely lost. And if it gets monotonous, just stop me.
Okay? Nah, it's not. Trust me, I've already got to listen to the dulcet tones of Max
I'm
Hawthorne.
already wrapped. Let's do this.
All right, let's see here. Remember, we're in the middle of this thing. So a sudden crashing in the bush up ahead put Jake back on high alert. He adjusted the frequency of his echolocation clicks to what he referred to as his HD setting. The field he generated had a much more limited range, 50 yards maximum, but it allowed him to see in far greater detail. He could pick up the minutest of details, even zoom in on creatures the size of ants. He could also penetrate the human body like an X-ray and hear the chest contractions, and heartbeats of larger organisms. Right now, there were two of them, dead ahead and closing fast. Grayson glanced back and uttered a surprisingly feminine squeal of fright as the pair of reptilians plowed through a stand of conifers and came flying his way. The duo was similar in size, a few inches over 6 feet in height and caked with dried mud. Jake went into skirmisher mode as he sallied forth to meet them. There was no decelerating on his part. His mass and momentum would only add to the power of his blows. He hewed the head off the lead one without slowing, then leapt sideways and sliced the second one's legs off at mid-knee before moving on. He traveled only a few steps when a gagging sound caused him to stop. The sound had come from Grayson. His megalomaniac's eyes were the size of emu's eggs as he watched the legless saurian crawl over and embrace its headless companion. The fool must have thought it was mourning its loss. It wasn't. Even crippled, its only goal was to bury its face in the hot blood gushing from its packmate's neck stump. "That's your work you're looking at, fucktard," Jake snarled at him. "And by the way, if you throw up on me, I'm ditching you." Just as he turned front again, the next batch of creatures appeared at the periphery of his sensory field. These ones were going to be a problem. He couldn't see them in full detail. The forest was too overgrown, but there were 5 of them. They were coming at him full bore and from every angle of the compass. The 2 headed from the south appeared considerably faster than the rest. They were less than 10 yards away. Make that 5. A heartbeat later, the front runner burst through a curtain of vines and attacked. "This is going to hurt," Jake bellowed. Without further ado, he lobbed the bedraggled CEO 10 feet into the mud-filled hollow of a nearby palm tree. Grayson landed painfully and lay there, watching in fascination as Jake wheeled around to face his enemies like a bear at bay. The lead reptilian was surprisingly nimble. It sprang from side to side, an insidious smile on its face, then it flew at him like a banshee, its clawed hands targeting his eyes. He had no choice but to put his left forearm out as a shield, and grunted as the thing grabbed hold and bit down. Their eyes were barely a foot apart as he brought the claymore around, but then he hesitated. Should I stop?
Oh, no, keep going. Jack froze. He's out for a moment.
Oh. Something was off. This one was smaller than the rest. It was barely 6 feet tall and less than 200 pounds, with a slimmer build and broader hips. Wait, is this a girl? The awful notion that Grayson had stooped so low as to experiment on female convicts had never occurred to him. He supposed he shouldn't have been surprised, but with the second reptilian closing fast, there was no time to dwell on such matters, or on chivalry. He hauled back and nailed his attacker between the legs with a front instep kick that would have dented an I-beam. It sailed through the air for a field goal. Its high-pitched wail cut short as it crashed back down into the drenched jungle, dozens of yards away, and not a moment too soon. Reptilia number 2 had been hard on the leader's scaly heels, and as it emerged into view, he could tell it was definitely not a female. It was a big bastard, just a few inches shorter than himself, and heavily built. It entered the battlefield with a leap that covered 6 or 7 yards and landed in a half crouch, midpoint between Jake and the hollowed-out tree where he deposited Grayson. With its back to the big palm, it was ignorant of his presence. But as it threw its head back and uttered a deafening cry of challenge, the quailing CEO clamped his hands over his ears and whimpered. The sound was barely audible, but it was enough. The creature's blood-red eyes downshifted from Jake and his raised sword to the defensive septuagenarian balled up behind it like a dirty babe in the woods. Its mind was made up in an instant. Turning from an obviously formidable foe, it sprang toward Grayson. Claws bared with an eager smile on its face, it dropped down on its haunches and reached for him. Its sepsis-laden nails were inches away when 42 inches of steel smashed through the back of its misshapen head and erupted out of its mouth. Flesh and bone were not enough to stop the blade's forward momentum, and it came to a stop only after boring a foot-deep hole in the tree's green wood, directly above the alcove's opening. Blood and bits of brain matter spewed from the dying brute's ruined maw, and its blazing eyes and rapacious smile were transformed into a terrifying rictus grin. Its legs spread apart as it slumped forward and, with its head pinned to the tree's base, its broad body completely obscured the oval-shaped opening. It was a perfect shot. Is that enough?
Dude, I'm going to pause you right there because I need to know how many of those words that you used, the big words, the $5 words,
rapacious,
you used that you went and actually researched to get those words versus how many you just actually already knew.
What's your education is what he's saying.
Pretty much.
Well, let's put it this way. You see, actually, I had AP English in college. It was film and animation. My vocabulary did suffer for several decades living in Brooklyn.
I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, you start
talking
like
fuck
this.
You, Bucko.
Forget about it. This, the first thing, second thing, whatever. But no, that's all me.
Yeah, Angel's got a little bit of that.
I read extensively, and I read some authors that have they're skilled, so it rubs off. I mean, right now I'm reading Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Yeah. Yeah, I know all the words, but I have to check the spelling.
That's my thing.
Luckily, Bing, if you go on Bing and type the word in the search thing, it'll spell check it for you. It'll change the spelling to the correct one.
I do the same thing. I go down to Google, type it in, it'll correct, copy paste. When I'm doing a movie review, I'm like, how do you spell this word? Anyway, Max, I'm all about this book. I got to say 2 things. One, you could be a narrator with that voice.
I'm saying, right?
Bunch of money because it's just perfect. It's deep. It's baritonish. It keeps you awake. I've listened to audiobooks that I love, but the guy that's narrating it, he was either talking like William Shatner, or his voice was just putting me to sleep. I'm like, I can't do this. The second thing, when it comes to sea life, the most fascinating thing for me is, we're humans. We have eyeballs. It's all visual. We know what we know. But there are things that can't see, and it's all sonar, echolocation, and it's like they can see, and that has always fascinated me. So, Max, I'm going to buy book 1, and I'm going to start churning through it. I've got a whole list, like the rest of you, of books just waiting to be read.
Or listened to. I've got audio books.
I'm wrapped.
This
sounds like my type of thing.
Thank you.
I love ocean, old creatures. Yeah. Hell, Shark Week starts tomorrow, and I'm going to be on Discovery Plus for the rest of this week watching.
So, hey, authors out there who may be watching this right now, Jeff included, maybe you should start reading some of your books a little bit on some podcasts, because it's one thing to say the name of my book is, and my name is, and that's all people got. But
right,
Max, this is the second time now you have done this awesome thing for me, and I was engaged, and I'm still like, crap. Why can't he keep reading? I'm like, oh yeah, we got to keep doing the show.
We're on Jeff's show, but it's all like, fuck Jeff at this point.
Yeah, right. It's like I'm just like, go back to the beginning of the chapter. Let's start this thing from the beginning, and let's just go to the end, and that'll be the show for the day. Because
I am gonna rib Jen, and when she gets on,
she will be here shortly. She just messaged me. But as to the subject of Max narrating, don't do it, because it'll take time away from me writing.
Yes.
There you go.
Because narrating takes at least twice as long as you think it does.
I'm not really set up for that, to be honest. I would have to, like, I mean, I know a guy, like, I actually do music on the side. Meaning I write songs, the lyrics and stuff, and then I have
audio
stuff. But so there is a studio I have access to that I could go there and professionally record stuff and all that. I don't know if that's something that would be my cup of tea or not, or like if I would have the time. But you mentioned the like your long-haired rock and roll and all that. That my promoter was Leonard Skinner's manager for 15 years.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
and he was a member of the band.
I can't think of his name, but I just watched a documentary on Leonard Skinner, and he was all over it.
Was he on the plane?
No, obviously not.
Well, I mean, some of them lived.
Yeah, but yeah. So,
makes a point.
The what you were talking about, sea life and all that, and sonar and things of that nature.
Yeah.
It's like I have too many hobbies. So, the suggestion of me starting to narrate would be like what the straw on the camel's back or something like that, I think.
Right.
But, yeah. All the dealings with prehistoric life in terms of writing and the research that comes with it got me sucked into doing paleontology also and coming up with theories for paleontology, etc. And I'll give you an example. Wait. I got to get a prop for this. Hold on.
Hang on. Here we go.
Right. Here we go.
It's nothing. It's nothing. Perverse or anything.
No big skeletal penises.
So then we got to wait for Jen to show up for that to happen.
Well, yeah, true.
When Jen shows up and she finds out she missed this, I'm just gonna be stroking this ball right here.
Yeah, rub your balls.
Okay, prop time.
Oh, good. Chunky Cheese, as my daughter calls Olaf, is asleep in his unicorn bed over to the left of her wall. He's
unicorn bed.
He has a big fluffy unicorn bed that's in the corner to my left. And
okay, you may have to show that.
New
prop right there. I don't know if I want to see it.
What, the unicorn bed?
Yes.
I don't want to.
I'm afraid.
No, it's just a oval, circular, fluffy bed, different colors and stuff. It's like furry, and he's lying down right now, and he's doing this thing to get comfortable with the claws.
Eating,
yeah, and all that. Which a lot of people don't know that, but cats do that because when they're kittens, that's how they encourage their mother to give milk when they're nursing. So psychologically, it's how they put themselves into a relaxed kind of mode, I guess you'd say. So anyway, So you guys are familiar with Nessie, obviously, in the Loch Ness Monster.
Yes.
So this is a like a toy plesiosaur, okay? And in fact, this is the same one that was used for that hoax recently. The one with Google Earth supposedly. They saw in the water. Not this exact one, but one of these.
Oh,
I wasn't involved in that or anything. But I'm just saying it. So anyway, people have always wondered why these long necks. I mean, seriously. And I think it was 2015 or 2016 when I came out with it. But and you've heard all the different stories. I mean, I've seen people say, "Oh, well, it was to help them snatch fish." Wham! I know there is some truth to that part. Okay.
Well, yeah, it's like a snake.
Yeah, they used to think they sat on rocks, and then the neck would go into the water, bang, 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 like that, and stuff like that. I've seen one little outlandish theory where it stuck it in the holes in the ground looking for food. Okay, okay. Well, if you have a small head and you stick your head into a hole in the ground, the odds are there's going to be something in that hole the size of your head, which might not be very pleasant. Not to mention the thing could collapse on your head. I mean, the neck, whatever. I mean, this thing is fragile. Okay, you don't go sticking your neck out. So one person even said like, oh, they had electric eel stuff in their neck to stun prey or to protect themselves, something like that. I mean, they're getting more outlandish. I was waiting for one where like the internal neck bones as they swallowed a fish, where it skinned, scaled, filleted the fish as it worked its way down the line, and then there was a microwave in the body to heat it up at the end. And then it ended up on a plate in the stomach. Okay, seriously. But
no kitchen staff in the neck.
Yeah, but you got to think realistically. This is like Occam's razor, simple, etc. Okay, so I mean, as a fisherman, this was so obvious to me in the beginning. I guess paleontologists need to get out more or what and stuff, but it had to do with fishing, obviously, etc. When you have a long ass neck like this, you're not super maneuverable. Okay, like the pliosaurs in my book have a short head, like a sea lion. See, so they can turn on a dime. But when you have a neck as big as you, when it moves, you have to go with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. Okay? So, yeah, in a straight line, this animal could swim fairly fast, but it couldn't twist and turn, etc. So chasing fish would be contraindicated. Okay? So you got to look at modern parallels. Okay? When you see a swordfish or a marlin, okay, or a sailfish, they chase schools of fish. Okay? But they're able to get close enough to kill them. And why is that? Because the fish have a lateral line, sensors, okay? They can sense other fish beside them, etc. They can sense approaching things. That's why when you see a school of fish and they all turn at the same time, they don't crash into each other typically.
Which is so cool.
Yeah, murmuration. They all know where the other one is. And that's their lateral line. They can feel, even in the dark, they can feel things around them, okay? It's not as effective to the back, but most importantly, they can't see what's behind them. So when a sailfish or a marlin comes up behind a school of fish and he's chasing them, they can sense that big giant thing back there, but they can't sense the sword, which is small like them. See? They don't. To them, it's just like another member of the school. See? So the sword gets in close, and then pop, 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 and then he gets his meal. Okay, this applies to a heron's bill, ichthyosaurs that had that long extension there, etc. So in the case of the plesiosaur, when plesiosaurs are chasing fish, they need to disguise the pressure wave produced by this big body. See? So they have this long neck at the end of that big body. So the pressure wave produced by this head is only about the same as the fish it's chasing. So when it comes up behind a school of fish, like this, they just feel like, oh, that's Joe behind me. That's Stanley. That's Paul. Ow, what? And then they get snatched. And it just follows the school along and eats and eats and eats and eats and eats and keeps picking off the back of the school. That's why the head, the neck, is to defeat the lateral line that protects fish. And I know fish because if we look up here, my walls are covered with them. See?
Yeah.
So the point is that's why they had the long neck. And the biggest plesiosaurs, like Elasmosaurus, had the longest necks. See? So that's what was going on with it. And then I even proved it because we studied snake neck turtles, which is almost the equivalent of a plesiosaur. And in the footage that I've got, the snake neck turtle comes up behind goldfish in a tank. They're about the size of his head. And he's able to come right up behind them, and they're just sitting there like, doo-doo-doo-doo, bang, and he gets them. Okay, but if he comes right at them, they see him coming and they run. And if there's tiny fish in there, like little tetras, that the head is the size of a predator itself, the turtle's head, even with their back turned, they still run, and the turtle can't catch them. You see? So it's all about pushing forward, like how much water is being displaced by that head and disguising that big body way far back. And that is the secret to why plesiosaurs have long necks.
It's camouflage.
Now, I think I can offer an alternate explanation that might be ancillary to the first.
Jennifer, bring it.
Finally.
There she is.
Hi.
Max is going to have a talk with you, young lady.
Yeah, I've had the day from hell, so please bring it on. I almost fought people at the automotive store and at U-Haul.
Excellent.
Yeah, everybody's getting a piece today.
I don't need a piece.
Okay, so alternative theory.
Go ahead, bring it.
Now those things have a big ass body, and
Right.
those flippers displace one hell of a lot of water.
That's true also. Go ahead.
Since the sensory apparatus
Mm-hmm.
of the plesiosaur is in their head, because that's where it generally is on all fish, right? It's in sharks, for example. It's in their head.
Go ahead.
The farther away it is from that displacement, the better reception it would get. Because if it's right here, that churns up a lot of water, you would think.
Yeah, but that wouldn't apply because then pliosaurs, which have gigantic heads and short necks, would find themselves in a predicament then. And they were far superior hunters. In fact, that they were better at chasing and killing things, large prey, than these guys, which are piscivores and had to eat something the size of their head or smaller. See? So the main thing is that those flippers, when they propel you, they don't push water forward. They push it back. So when they come forward, they're moving on the edge, and then they push like this. So the displacement is behind more. It's the body that pushes the most water, but you put that long ass neck ahead of that body, and you eliminate that problem. So as long as he's behind the school of fish, that's the thing, and he's pursuing them, he can graze like a cow eating grass, and that's all. That's it in a nutshell.
Then again, it could be alien trial and error, like yes. Okay, so we've gotten far too goddamn intellectual here.
Yeah, we got smart.
So I'm going to add to it just a little bit and bring us into our discussion of our topic du jour.
And Jen, you missed the reading. I'm sorry.
Aw.
Yeah, he read for us.
Oh, awesome.
That's your punishment. That's your punishment for showing up late.
It was awesome.
Was it from Purgatory?
No, he read something he never published.
We're gonna have a talk, mister.
Now you the one that came in late, so
I know I had car trouble.
But she's read Purgatory, I think.
I have.
Yeah, so
so good.
Yeah, so you know.
Okay, so anyway,
it's a hell of a good time. Get it? Hell of a good time.
All right, Jeff.
Punny, very punny.
All right, Jeff, get this thing going because I'm about to grab my damn hat.
All right,
now. Ever looking for the Loch Ness Monster? Just ask Bigfoot.
Bigfoot won't talk to me anymore. He's got a restraining order against me again.
Damn it.
I watched one bathing.
Yeah, that was an interesting story that he told us.
That was a very interesting story that he once told us.
Oh, he's being serious.
Yes,
yes,
he's being
very serious.
Very much so. Now you got to tell
I
him.
think this is going to fit into the theme of food.
He wasn't bathing. It was swimming, and it was eating things on the bottom. There's a difference. It wasn't bathing.
It was
walking la, 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 la. And then I walked in, and he was like in a towel, and then we like sat, and we smoked a doobie together, you know, and we ordered some beers and all.
Did he wear like a hairnet thing?
But when he asked me to wax his back, I had to leave. You know? That was like,
no Brazilians. No, don't go there.
Oh, we don't need more wax. And cancel all my appointments for the rest of the year. But anyway,
we have officially hit.
So anyway,
Brazilians are painful, just so you're aware.
Oh, they're the worst. I mean, wait. No.
I thought you bleeped yours.
I've never dated a Brazilian. I don't know.
I have.
Anyway.
What was our topic?
And Venezuelan and
I watch a lot of documentaries. It's just something I do. And I was watching one last week about ancient Britain. And it was talking about how they discovered this substance called verdigris.
Ooh, what?
Verdigris. VERD.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. Okay, so what they did was they took a small plate of thin copper and buried it in cow shit for 2 weeks. Okay, so.
Ew.
Ew.
Yes. Then they pulled the copper plate out, scraped off the cow shit, and there was a green substance covering it.
Isn't this how they developed the COVID vaccines?
Probably.
Not
Probably.
quite. Not quite, but you're close. You're closer than you think you are. Some genius figured out that he could scrape that green stuff off the copper, mix it with honey, and then if you applied it to wounds, it would stop them from getting infected.
But the honey,
stopped it from becoming septic.
But honey does that by itself.
Yeah, the honey does that by itself.
I don't know. My point is, how the fuck did they decide that burying copper in cow shit and then smearing it on an open, festering wound would be a good idea?
That goes right into who the fuck thought of eating this? I mean, how hungry would you be to go? It's like, I'm just going to eat that just dropped, and they're like, oh shit, this is good.
Well, it's like Marmite. Marmite's
Marmite
a damn
is
good
the
example of
worst
that.
shit I've ever tasted.
Why do people even ingest that shit?
Next to
I've done it.
It's like, this is like fucking curdled blood.
My thing is that I guess I'm confused because the copper oxidizes and has a greenish just from being wet and out in the air. You see it all over the place. Everybody thinks it's cool out here.
But apparently, their degree.
Why did they need to bury it? I mean, maybe for the quickness.
Who knows? Well, the point is, how did they figure this shit out?
How pun intended. How was it that they did that and thought that was sanitary? And how did it not give them more of make them just like kill them instantly? Because I mean, you're pretty much rubbing green shit on a wound.
This was during the time of Henry VIII.
Honey-coated.
Yeah.
This was during the time of Henry VIII.
Oh, they're not very smart.
No, I mean they used to attach leeches to people to cure blood diseases.
Yeah.
And they thought that wrapping people with red cloth would stop them from getting the Black Plague.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump in here, and I'm going to ask Max 2 questions. Question number 1.
Yes.
How would you use poo in a movie to help or in a book to help a situation? I'm already projecting you into a movie for this one.
Yeah.
How would you use poop in a situation like that? And in a book, have you ever actually had poop become a thing?
Okay. What? First question, a situation like what are we talking about?
I mean, just create as you're writing. I mean, just a situation.
There is a scene in. I mean, there's not a lot of fecal matter in my books, but there is a scene in Cronus Rising Kraken 1, where they're doing surgery on this 80-foot, 140-ton pliosaur, and they discover it has the equivalent of a pliosaur tapeworm inside of it.
Yes, I remember that.
And they extract it anally.
It's so gross.
From the pliosaur, where they have this 8-foot wand with pinchers that come out on the end that they insert into the drugged pliosaur's rectum. Actually, it's cloaca to be exact, because the reptiles are different. But anyway, and then it has this part, and it travels along, and it impacts on this tapeworm, and it grabs it with these pinchers and electrocutes it. Okay, and then starts to drag it out. And this Vermitis gigas, I think was a scientific name I invented for this thing, is the size of or bigger than a titanoboa. It's like 60 feet long or something like that, and up to 3 feet thick. And it's covered with feces and slime, and it is the most disgusting thing I ever described in my life. And
does it make you go, ooh?
And it goes, rampage, and it's got this face like a lamprey, and I could pull up the scene and describe it to you, but part of what made it so disgusting was that it was just like caked with and dripping feces and mucus. And see her face? She read it.
I read it. It was icky. I read it. It was very.
Okay, yeah, I'd say that qualifies as ew.
Yeah, he did a very good job at describing. Yeah, yes, Tim. I as well can smell these words. Max did an amazing job describing this, where you can see this play out in your head. You're not reading a book anymore. You're watching it in your mind's eye, and you're just sitting there going, "Oh my God, I didn't think that anyone could come up with something that disgusting." Coming out of out of the ass end of anything, it's gross. Ugh.
It's the same thing when I started Javin Bond's books, the Peavies.
The Peavies. Oh my God.
God,
they shit everywhere.
That man is obsessed with diarrhea
and shooting people through the heads of their penises, which I have a problem with.
That happens like twice in every book.
Sigmund Freud would have a field day with Javin. I'll tell you right
now. So, Dungeon Dan, what makes you go, ew?
Well, shit, everything that we just talked about is got my stomach roiling. Ugh.
Well, we almost had a guest girl last time, so it's a goal. We have to have goals, and we now want to have a guest girl. So, Max,
I'm going to give you my ooze. Anything with a freaking eyeball getting pierced, stomped on, popped, any of that disgusting shit that can happen.
Squished is a good one.
Squished with a pop is even worse.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say there was a great scene, and I think it's in Kraken too, where Jake grabs this like criminal by his like upper chest, and he rips like the entire front of his chest off. Like the ribs, the bones, all that stuff, exposing like his lungs and all this stuff like that. And heart, that was pretty nasty.
I still like Kill Bill 2. When she steps on the eyeball and it squishes between her toes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's going to get sick.
My icky. I can't.
I hate a lot of
Come on, Jen.
Come on now.
Come on.
Do it.
It's something so stupid. I hate snot and saliva.
Oh!
I'm right there.
Yeah.
And I can't. I'm very surprised that I had 3 children and that they've made it to adulthood. God bless their souls. But these kids, anybody and anyone that throws up around me, I'm done. When I worked in booking, the drunks that would come in and they're sitting there handcuffed and they're like, "I'm gonna throw up." I'm going, "Please don't, not right here." I can't tell you how many times I have had to walk away because just hearing it.
Yeah.
So saliva, snot, and throwing up. I can't.
Growing up
yes.
That can get really disgustingly fun because one guy in a room does it, everybody does it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're getting lost in the whole place.
And a really, really nasty jail story. I was working in booking. I'm at intake when the cop comes in, sits down the inmate, and I'm asking them their questions. Cops come in with a guy. He fake falls on the floor being handcuffed. And then he goes, "What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? You want me to crawl?" So he starts army crawling with his hands behind his back. And then he goes, "You want me to lick the floor?" We're all going, "No." And what does he do? Right across the floor. We all just started throwing up because literally 10 minutes before that, there was piss, shit, and vomit on the floor.
Excellent.
Literally 10 minutes before that.
I have something for Jen.
Oh, God.
Oh, here we go.
Wait, did you read my book Memoirs of Jim Rat?
I have not.
Good.
Oh,
God.
So there's a whole chapter in there. You see, before I went became a novelist, I used to do a fitness product. I mean, I was even on QVC once, okay? And I used to work, and what?
QVC, you just showed your age. QVC?
That I was on QVC? No, I was on QVC as a guest, okay? Listen, I'm a senior citizen, and I don't have a problem with that. When I go to IHOP, when I go to IHOP, I order up the senior menu, and I'm proud of myself. So, I had this fitness product. I was working in health clubs. Okay, so I would do, as a manager, membership director, whatever, selling memberships. So I had this guy come in. I think he might have been Russian. I'm not sure, but and he was dressed pretty much all in black, and he had a huge schnoz. I mean, this thing was like Cyrano de Bergerac material and then some. Okay.
Damn.
Giant nostrils. And so he's sitting talking to me, and I'm trying to, we're wheeling and dealing. And as he's talking, he's just digging for gold. And I'm talking, he's got up to the second knuckle up his nose. All the way up there. And then he pulls out a big thing like this, and he's looking at it. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, if he eats this, I'm going to lose it. And he looked, and he just goes, and he just wipes it on his shirt.
Oh, my God.
And then I look close, and I realize his shirt, stomach, and his thighs are covered with dried snot and boogers. And he just keeps walking, and he does it again. He wipes it like this on his pants and all this stuff. And I'm sitting there, and it just keeps going and going. And I'm like this. I'm like, hey. So, I killed myself to get this guy out of my office. I gave him the best deal in the world. I called him the boogeyman in the book. Okay,
you have to.
Right? And if that was his technique to get a great deal, it worked because I just wanted him out as fast as possible. So I would do everything. I put him in the computer, all stuff. I mean, literally got crushed. I mean, these clothes looked like he'd been worn for like a week straight, and they were just covered with layers of snot. Okay, and stuff like that. And then we finish. I give him his paperwork, and he tries to shake my hand. He extends this shoulder towards me, and I literally looked at him. I back up, and I'm like, I'm good. No, nope, I'm good. Like that. And he went on his way. And I was like, I got to wash my hands. I didn't even touch him.
You need to wash everything. Oh,
dude, that's ultimate ooh.
Yeah.
And he was just looking at it. He was like, and I'm like, if he eats this thing, I'm going to scream like a little girl, and there's going to be a Mac-shaped hole in the wall right there. Okay?
Sorry, sir, you have to leave. Gross.
Oh, I have much grosser stories, but I don't want to get in trouble. So
I'm going to add to this. Back in junior high in band, one of the trumpet players, he was a booger eater, and he'd do it in public. We were working on a piece, and he's first trumpet, I'm second trumpet, and third trumpet is sitting there, and he digs out this slimy glob, and I see it, and I nudge my buddy next to me, and this guy just like and swallowed it. Dude next to me pukes. Me pukes. Band director pukes. The whole room.
Everybody.
And they were like, what happened? I'm like, booger eater over here. And he looked like, what? Doesn't everybody do this?
No. To give you an idea of what sick bastard sailors can be, you understand there's an echo here.
I hear that.
Yeah, somebody needs to mute their speaker or something because there's.
Hold on, let me try it. It might be me.
But anyway, I'm sure everybody understands that some people are prone to seasickness. And it doesn't make you a bad guy. It's just some people are prone to it. So, being the sick bastards that we are, we would identify these people. We were usually brand new, kids fresh out of boot camp or whatever.
Right.
And the ship would be doing this number, and the guys would be going, there'd be, your face would be green and shit, and we'd be like opening up cans of smoked oysters. And, what's up? How about a pork sandwich?
Oh, that's so mean.
The Navy when the midshipmen came on, and they'd never been to sea. And unfortunately, I was one of the quartermasters had to clean up the fucking puke from the bridge wings. But still, we had the bedding pool, and then when our horse wasn't like getting up there, we'd do the same thing. We'd have disgusting stuff and walk up. Hey, feeling okay? You know, oysters and whipping it out, and they're like.
I know. If you yacked, we made you clean it up yourself.
Well, they made them clean it, but we had these wooden planks, you know, real nice decorative wooden planks.
Yep.
But
Yeah, we had
after that, we had to pull the planks up and clean the freaking, you know, stuff off the steel. But it's still worth it. Still won some money.
Yes.
Well, now, Max, have you ever had to deal with any bullshit like this right here from these two assholes?
You mean your compadres?
Look, yeah. It means
That's
the same
asshole
thing. It means the same thing. Asshole, compadres, friends. It's all the same.
I mean, as an author who's on social media and who actually interacts with readers and stuff, I encounter all types. You know, I honestly, there seems like there's always some. How can I say this? It's like that meme, you know, where there's a picture like Jack Nicholson, I think, and it says like, you know, before you know, try and be a smart ass, make sure you're smart, otherwise you're just an ass, you know. And there's a lot of that. So, you know, I deal with much worse than these guys. I mean, these guys are fun. These, you know,
I'm heartbroken. I really wanted to endear myself as asshole one to you. I'm going to work harder.
It's good to have goals. It's good to have goals. And speaking of funny, Jack, what makes you go, ew?
Oh, my God. It's going to... I know I'm supposed to go with something gross, but I can't go with something gross. These days, I don't watch much TV. I don't watch that many movies. You know, I'm into Marvel and whatnot, but they ain't got something coming out every day. The thing that gets me to go, ooh, ooh, is sex in a book I'm reading.
Oh, I thought you meant you having sex.
Yeah.
It's generally his partner.
The thought of myself having sex is so disgusting. I can't stand it. I'm like, oh. I'm sorry.
Well, no, actually, you aren't wrong. You're not wrong. Trust me. As I described in a previous show, it would look a lot like a monkey fucking a football. So, you know.
Covered in cheeseball dust.
And cheeseball dust.
Believe me, I don't want to see myself naked these days, okay? I have blacked out all the mirrors in around the house and stuff, especially in the bathroom. I put cardboard up. You know, it's like a hurricane.
But no, for some reason, sex scenes in books just make me go, ooh, I don't care. I speed read over those parts, you know. Or if it's an audio book, I'm 30 seconds ahead. Oh crap, he's having an orgasm. 30 seconds ahead.
Wait, Jen,
he's still having an orgasm.
Isn't there a sex scenes in Kraken 1?
From what I remember,
like when the girl comes in the guy's room and she's like holding it for him while he pees.
Yes, there were quite a few.
That was your personal experience, by the way. I just put that out there.
That's weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
I have never once walked into the bathroom and held it for a guy as he's voiding.
It's a $20 charge if you want to pay for it. I always.
Oh, you thought those were ding dong prices?
Wait, you're getting 20? I was only getting 5. Jeez.
Hell, Jennifer, I'll pay you 20.
But you know, I mean, when you do it at a restaurant, Max, that kind of, I mean, you gotta kind of look at how many people, quantity versus quality.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend who would do that, and it was unnerving every time she did it.
That's just too weird.
Your aim is off.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Look, I'm only charging for like 4 fingers. Seriously.
I don't want to know where the 5th is going.
I don't know if this is serendipity, but what we're talking about. You heard my phone go off with a message. The text message is, "Are you getting softer with age?" It's a fucking boner pill ad. Let me see if I can get that.
Oh my God.
Whoop. You don't want to see that one. I actually got that one. We're talking about dicks.
There you have it.
I'm telling you.
Why I hit subscribe.
Like I said, there's a reason why this hat is around. Even
You
our
haven't
most
put it up
tame
yet.
shows.
You're not stopping.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not doing it justice. We're
No,
all gonna have to get
I'm
one.
letting this thing go just absolutely ape shit because we have Max in the building and I want him to get the full experience
effect?
of this thing.
I see
And
this,
we're missing people.
you see
Poor
this
guy.
thing right here where this guy's talking about something called pothole. So yesterday we were driving home from different part of PA on the highway there and local highway, and my wife hits like 4 potholes in a row. Bang, 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 like this. And I said, "Hey, babe, you missed that last pothole back there. Could you swing back around and get it?" Seriously. I mean, it was like boom, 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 boom. You missed one. Come on. Just anyway.
One thing we don't miss are curbs. We don't miss our curb checks, and we don't miss our potholes when we drive.
All right, hi Carl. That was a good one. I'm going to use that on somebody at work at some point.
All right, Jeff, have you thought about writing a series incorporating some sea creatures attacking your Coast Guard?
Well, no, because the zombies are.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere, and they're enough non-real stuff. I wouldn't want to pile onto it.
What are you trying to say? The megalodon ain't real?
Well, it's a matter of degrees. You want the zombies to be the bad guys. So okay, you got zombies. You can't suddenly throw some prehistoric creature that has no reason to be there into the mix. It wouldn't make sense.
That's true. Suspension of disbelief would be lost. This is a baby megalodon tooth that I just acquired, and I don't think you can see it. Probably unless I get real close, but it is flawless, like a jewel. I mean,
that thing is gorgeous.
I mean, you got to see it to believe it. Seriously, this is an upper anterior, like the #1 tooth, center of the jaw. But this is a neonate tooth, a baby.
Wow,
so,
that is rare.
Yeah, you can shave
So
this thing.
So there.
You said megalodon. I just happen to have one in front of me.
Yeah,
So
just
See,
so you guys are aware, I did try to watch Sharknado.
Don't.
No bullshit. Don't. Yeah, love
was-
it. Love
It's
it.
fun to watch these pop stars
Keep
get
going.
eaten, but it's not worth it.
It
It
has
was
a
so-
conclusion.
It was terrible. Okay.
It's supposed to be.
I thought, who's the main guy? Ian. He used to be on 90210. Ian something
Yep.
or other.
Yep, he's Finn.
I thought he was bad in 90210. He's terrible
He's
in
worse.
Sharknado. Yeah, I
Oh.
didn't think you could get worse with age.
You know,
Uh,
the thing is about USA Network. They at one point they were like putting out lots of good stuff. When they put out Sci-Fi Channel and shit.
But
Nope.
man, I love
Nope.
Sharknado. Come on, Max, help me
No.
out here, man. Sharknado was fun.
Yeah.
I don't have time to edit my own books, let alone watch stuff a lot. So, I mean, it's a successful series, so it's a viable idea, and obviously people watch them.
It'll be a
know,
cult classic, you haters.
I just wish I had been a fly on the wall at the pitch meeting for that movie.
Oh gosh.
It's Sharknado. It's sharks in a tornado that take over Los Angeles.
I'm
Yeah.
still confused. 100%. Still.
Well, you got to
confused.
watch the whole series because it ends.
I-
They explain all of it at the end
I
of it.
will. I'm sorry. I can't do something that will force me to take my own life. I can't.
Dude, Dolph Lundgren appears in this series.
If I want to watch more bad acting from anyone, especially who is Dolph, I will just watch Rocky.
I gotta admit, there is one horror movie that Dolph was in that I actually liked him, and it was called Don't Kill It. It's the only Dolph Lundgren movie I've ever watched that I actually enjoyed his acting.
He's a terrible actor. He should have just stuck with his studies.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. He went through that whole horror movie sucking on this big vape that's like a big contraption and just put plumes of vapor out. Sorry, you guys.
Okay, where's the echo coming from? We got an echo.
Again? Is it? Oh, okay. Look, everybody talk.
Oh,
Hello?
he's gonna be gone for a minute. Yeah,
hold
he's
on.
gonna drop out for a minute.
Let me see if I can get this fucking headphones to work. I think it's me, guys.
I only
You're fine
hear it.
now.
That's
Very
okay. We'll give
minutely.
you the blame for it.
I'll take that from the mic. How's that?
Why not? Ordinarily, we'd give it to Jason, but he's not here, so.
Right.
He's up with that boy.
So you're,
It's his girlfriend's birthday today. Well, it was yesterday. They're doing birthday stuff today, so hopefully they're having fun.
Well, hell, his birthday present to her should have been being on this damn show.
Giving her peace. Giving her
Sounds logical to me.
Give me
Hey,
a break.
it works for me. I know that. Let
Okay,
me do my podcast.
so what's the grossest movie everybody's seen? The most over-the-top gross movie everybody's seen.
It's got to be Dead Alive.
Saw.
That's a good choice, but no, there's worse.
I
Well,
saw pick any Saw that was for me.
Dude,
Yeah.
jumping into the swimming pool filled with needles because I don't like needles. Oh,
Wait,
when
what?
she come in Saw, she was going
Saw.
to Saw, and I'm like, and coming out with all those needles sticking
Look,
out of her body, and she's
that
like,
wasn't a big deal for me. One was when they were opening her jaw when her head was in that contraption. Another
Yeah,
one was you got to cut a pound of flesh off of yourself. Another, I mean, you name it. There's tons of them. Even from the first movie, he cut his own foot off, but the dang key was right there under what was his name, Jigsaw.
yeah.
It's just they really, if that was their aim to gross people out, that worked for me.
So now, Max, have you thought about doing some splatter punk? Like, just do some gross shit.
I mean, I kind of have graphic gore details occasionally in my books already. Like you got a little taste of it where the Jake throws his sword to save this idiot's life, and it comes through the back of its head and out its mouth, and brains and gore and all this other stuff spews all over the place. So it's just kind of worked in, but it's used sparingly when it's appropriate. It's part of the story.
But now, part of Splatterpunk, though, is even like some real life stuff. Like people having fascinations with things. Like, I'm going to go gross for a minute. It's what the show does. But like being obsessed with eating poop. And,
Like Human Centipede?
Yeah. Stuff
There you
like
go.
that. If you thought about trying to go down that alley.
Okay, one, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
And two, that's already covered in Memoirs of a Gym Rat, because there was this nasty guy that I used to work with, and he was obsessed with having women defecate on him.
Oh.
Okay, that was his thing. It's in the book, and he even bragged to me. He was like, "Yeah, sometimes I'll take her stuff and I'll rub it in my mustache so I can smell it throughout the day." And then the worst one was, he said, "You see this?" And he pulls over his mouth. He goes, "You see that big filling it's missing?" He goes, "Sometimes I got to take a piece of her dried, roll it up, and I stick it in there like a temporary filling so I swear to God."
Oh.
Okay, yeah, there you go. There you go. So that he,
Oh.
like
Gross.
throughout the day. Okay, the guy was the most disgusting human being I've ever met in person. Okay,
Like I need therapy.
yeah. So, Memoirs of a Gym Rat. Check it out. The Audible version is the best because the guy that we hired is like a stand-up comedian and actor, so he could do all different voices and stuff like that. And he is riotous. I mean, like seriously, if you want like a gross, shocking, hilarious experience while driving, don't crash, okay, or anything like that. Then, that's worth doing. But the movie that grossed me out the most, and it's not like fake horror though, is The Miracle of Life. Okay, The Miracle of Life. I was forced to watch it in college in my advanced life-saving class, which came in handy because I saved a few lives in my day. And there's all this stuff, like when the afterbirth comes out and all this stuff. And there was all these prim and proper girls in the class, like, oh, it's so wonderful with these stuff. And me and this other dude, the only guys in the class, were like, and we're like hiding under our desks and stuff, literally crawling under there to hide while this stuff is going on. Okay, so, that for me was the scariest, grossest, nastiest stuff I've ever seen on film, even though it's not.
And it's real life.
Yes. Okay, that is the scariest movie I've ever seen. Oh, it was like, I mean, we were like, no. Oh! And the teacher was like, you guys, grow up. This is life. No, I don't want to see it. You can't make me,
I just heard from Jerry, our other guest. He's living down in Florida, and apparently the rain is going sideways there right now. So that's why he's not on the show.
Oh, hopefully he's safe.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's a surfer anyway. He don't care. But I just saw the movie that you gave me, Dan, that I've seen before, but I did a review for it for Mar Garcia. Black Sheep.
Yeah, Black Sheep. That's great.
The gore effects were done by Weta Workshop.
Yep.
Who did Lord of the Rings and pretty much everything
Peter Jackson's
done since then. Yeah, and they played these things with such demented glee that every gore scene in that movie is fucking hilarious. It's just fucking hilarious. Of course, it helps that I live in a state where cannabis is legal, but
same.
That.
Obviously, I have at least 20 horror movies I can bring up, but I'm going to bring up one, and I have the poster. Zombie Ass.
I was thinking about that one's pretty disgusting.
That's on my list. No, that's on my list of things to watch. And I'm sitting here. I'm like, I cannot really look this movie up because my kids they're adults, but my kids use my Netflix. I'm like,
oh yeah.
Like, what are you watching, Mom?
Yeah.
It's
my fiance would be sitting there like, what the hell are you watching?
You're not allowed to be on that show anymore, Jen.
Disgusting. It's
that one. There's a lot of shit jokes. There's a lot of fart jokes. Of course, it's which means it just goes crazy. But the main scene when the main model girl who found tapeworms in a stream and swallowed them because she wanted to make sure she was thin for her photo shoot. All of a sudden, she has to go to the outhouse, and she's squatting down, and there's zombies, and her shit is just hitting their face. I mean,
my God.
It was so through.
Yeah, apparently Jack is officially out because his internet crashed or something.
That's too bad. I have another poster I'm going to hang up, and this one's for Jack, and maybe we should lead with this on the next show. This show is from THC 420. The audience is stoned.
I just got a brand new shipment of pre-rolls, so.
Have you had a terp stick yet?
No.
My fiance loves the terp sticks. hit hard, he said.
Yeah, but I don't want to be stupid. I want to be, pleasantly buzzed.
Maybe that's his problem then. I've bought him one too many terp sticks.
Yeah, I used to love hash, but hash
Max is all like, "I don't do this drug shit. Shut up."
Hash always made me wake up feeling stupid, and I hate that. So,
see, it's not a problem for me. I wake up stupid every day without it. It's just me.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm a simple edibles at night type of girl. If I lived back home in Ohio, I wouldn't have them. But because I live in Arizona, I have them. So
that's what.
It's legal.
I'm retired, so why the hell not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm old.
Oh, I feel it some days.
So you had a question for Max?
Well, I just noticed he got real quiet when we started going on THC 420.
Oh, no. I'm just, it's not anything that has anything to do with me. So I'm just going to let you all, do your thing.
You let the train wreck and you'll be the only spot.
I'm just, sitting in the back of the train, figuring the damage will be mostly in the front compartments and cars and, that kind of thing.
You know what I find distressing is Jeff, me, and now I know you, we're all senior citizens. Why do you look so good and me and Jeff are like,
good. Dude, I am fat right now. Are you kidding? Ever since I got...
I'm like, that guy's got a fucking six-pack under there somewhere. Not
Girls.
that.
Yeah, it's somewhere under there, all right? Under like a 40-pound roll.
Girls, ladies, I will tell you, it's not fat. They're ab protectors, as my son has told me.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You know what? I have spent years protecting my abs.
Yeah, they're ab protectors because you don't want to damage them precious little things.
I don't think they exist.
My excuse is I spent 10 years eating the truck stop diet.
I'm still eating that.
That'll fuck anybody.
I'm on the road all day. Yeah, it kills you, man.
Oh, it does. I won't even eat fast food anymore.
It's too hot in Arizona to eat, so we don't eat when we're out doing pools or anything like that.
I eat like once a day. That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, my fiance made these. He found these really cool things that you can like freeze and reheat, like prepared meals, and it's just a breakfast burrito that he found, and he made a bunch of them, individually wrapped them, and then freeze them, and oh my God, they're so good. They're so good. They have all sorts of vegetables in it. They have pork in it, and cheese. It's good. It's better than eating nothing, and it's just a great on the go. You wrap it in a wet paper towel, heat it up, and boom, you're out the door.
Or you can just get that Kirkland bacon from Costco, which heats up in 60 seconds, and it's fantastic.
It
is. Seriously. It's like, oh my God.
How can you not like bacon?
Bacon
in 30 to 60 seconds.
Yes.
No frying, no grease flying around.
Yeah, no grease
burning. Yeah.
Plastic thing up, you're done. Yeah, like you, Jen, here in Texas, we've been in triple digits for the past few months.
Yep.
And I've gotten to where I take stuff out of the fridge, and when about 30 minutes before I want to eat it, I just throw it up on the dash.
Yes.
I dry.
Yep.
Hot as hell when I'm ready to eat.
Yeah, we this morning finished a drain on a pool, and at 11:30, I think it was 107.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
When you guys drain a pool, how are you draining it? Because I would hire one of those sewage sucking trucks that can hold like fucking 30,000 gallons, and I just drop the hose and be done with it.
When we drain it, we just have two sub pumps.
Oh,
dump
really?
It out. Yeah, dump it out in a wash, and then let the autofill refill it.
See, I've done that too on cellar floods. I'll drop like two sub pumps on a cellar flood, And then in the other company, I had a truck with a truck mount and a 275-gallon tank. So between the three, and then I realized, you know what? Because I was an independent contractor, I started hiring these sump pump trucks to come over and drop their shit in there. I'd pay them $400 each, and on my commission, I just made tons more, and I got the job done in, like 3 days earlier.
Yeah, and depending on the size of the pool, like today it was like, I think maybe less than 10,000 gallons. So it literally took 1 day, 1 8-hour, 9-hour period to drain it, get all the crap out of the bottom, and then now we started refilling.
So I'm confused. Why don't these pools have just a drain at the bottom like a bathtub does?
They do, but it goes into the filter. But it doesn't go.
Yeah.
They have a main drain at the bottom of the pool. And I'm sorry if this is boring, everybody. I apologize, but
no,
the pools are plumbed to just be a self-contained unit, and then just have an autofill to fill up any water that's evaporated or what have you, or spillover. So it's not like it's plumbed right into your house drain. So if something happens in the house, may it be the bathroom overflows or something like that, people have thought that it's plumbed right into their drain for the bathroom or for the sink, and have actually called the pool people. No, that's not. That actually is all separate.
It is, and it has to be, because that much water will blow those pipes out.
Yeah.
Clean out pipes, they'll blow, they'll break.
Yep, you're talking 3-inch PVC pipes that go all the way around the pool with the returns and your drains and your skimmer. So it actually has two places that it comes out, gets drawn into the pump and into the filter, and then brought back. But the quickest way. The quickest way to get this out is actually to get an old pump, one that was already on a pool previous, and actually it's called vacuum to waste. So you just stick a hose in the pool and you just suction it out at 1.5 horsepower instead of my 1/2 horsepower pump, or my 3/4 horsepower pump. That would be faster, but we have about combined maybe 3/4 horsepower pumps pumping the water out into the wash. So, and actually we have to be really careful with where we do that
water goes.
Oh yeah, because certain areas are like, oh no, we get erosion, honey. You're gonna have erosion. It's monsoon season. That's what dirt does.
And you live in a fucking desert.
Yeah.
Of course you get erosion.
Honestly, the water will be gone in 5 minutes because it's 107 outside.
So a pump, huh? See, my mistake was asking my mother-in-law to take it out 1 bucket at a time.
Yes, yeah. That's tough.
Then when it got really low, she had to go up and down a ladder with the bucket and stuff.
Oh yeah, but think of the entertainment value.
Yeah,
that's what it was. He's all like, "This is why you need to move, mother-in-law."
Yeah.
Okay,
so
it's a call. Who's calling me? What the heck? It's probably her. Stop talking about me.
You make Max part of the normal crew. This guy's awesome.
No, seriously, and then when she complained about her knees were bothering her, I was like, fine. I said, you don't have to do the ladder. I said, just hop on your broom, hover over the water, do a running thing, a bucket in each hand, like when the planes go down and they scoop up water for fires.
Haven't you seen Fantasia? Haven't you
back, like that, and it'll be done in no time.
And Tim, yes, it is a dry heat out here, but even that is still hot. It's like opening your oven and getting a face full of oven heat.
And it's horrible.
And there's no cookies.
And here, it's humid, and it makes it all the nastier.
Not gonna lie, it's monsoon.
Yeah, when I take that shower at night and take those underwear off, I'm like, ew. That does not smell human.
It's monsoon season, so it's a little bit more humid at the moment. We actually had almost 50% humidity the other day.
Yeah,
That's
we had an actual rainstorm last week.
They keep telling us we're getting one, but it rains everywhere except for our house. I'm telling you, there is something wrong with our house. I don't know if it's the Indian burial ground underneath, but it might be.
You can sell
Call
you
it a guess, but
Yeah. I can imagine.
Well, this is. Wait, I heard that echo.
That was you this time.
No, it can't be me.
Oh, it's me this time. I'm going to lean back. Just gonna
Lean back.
I mean, as much as I like listening to myself talk and everything, but
Yeah.
no, I'm still hearing it.
Yeah, so am I.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm your boogeyman.
Where's that? Oh.
On my shirt, on my pants, two-fisted, I take a chance.
Hey.
Fucking rapper here.
I'm telling you, Eminem, watch out, yo, coming for you.
About to get the MH.
That's freaking great.
You know, but anyway.
Hell yes, Tim.
You know,
Hell yes.
I had a chance to corner my sister-in-law recently. This doesn't sound right, but about an incident.
Really bad.
Yeah, I know. I had to keep going there. Okay, no, because you see, near where we live, there was a ghost incident. Like, there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on around here, and she had told. It seems to be like a focal point where I live. This like that thing that was in the woods a few months back, and so I was like, I heard that you had an incident a long time ago where you saw something out here. And it turns out that her parents, they used to own a lot of the acreage adjacent to the development where I live. And like a lot of it, which they eventually sold. And so this is before the development was even here. And there's an old train track that goes right outside of near where I live. So she was saying how about 30 years ago, she was 17 and she was driving home and she was going down this road. It was a little misty out and she was crossing these old train tracks and stuff. And she said that on the side of the road, right where she was there was a man walking. And she said he looked weird because he was sort of semi-transparent a little bit. It looked weird. Okay. And she said he was dressed like from 100 years ago, as if he'd worked in a mine and had just come out of a mine. You know, even sweaty. And she was looking at him, and she said as she was passing him real slow, like walking speed, and he looked right at her, and then all of a sudden he went like this, like that, and his eyes turned completely black, and it was like she felt like he could see right through her head, and she was like, Jesus, like that. And then she kept going, and she looked back in the rear mirror and everything, and he was just gone. He just like vanished, like into the mist or something like that. You know, there's nowhere to go. I mean, it was like woods and, you know, like a drop off and whatever. But she said he was definitely a ghost. And from, you know, he must have died like in whatever, a mining accident, something in the area.
Yeah.
It was really creepy. The way she told it, she was like, his eyes are completely black, everything. And they just like popped out, like they were staring right through my skull and everything. She scared. It was like, but it was pretty cool. I was like, that's great. So that explains a lot, you know?
You know what the ghost was really doing?
What
are you looking at, man?
Yeah, telling you.
Take a
love
picture.
Paranormal stuff. Yeah. There you go.
There's an old joke about the Amityville Horror House, and it's a white family. The ghost says, "Get out," and they're like, "Maybe we should stick around and investigate." If it's a black family, get out. I'm getting the fuck out of here. See you, bye. It's like
I did hear that.
Like
I heard that too.
The fact that this thing was transparent should have been a clue.
Yeah.
It's like driving by at walking speed. No, I'm sorry. Floor that sumbitch and go.
Yeah. Ghost hunting and ghost investigating is definitely white people shit.
It is. And I used to do it. I don't do it so much now, but here in San Antonio, there are so many haunted areas, and I've been to most of them. I'm still trying to get into one, and it's just because it's become such a touristy thing that if you don't get right on there and buy your ticket right away, you're not getting in. That would be the yeah. My water is kicking in. My thought process is going away. Oh, the Magnolia Hotel in Seguin, Texas. You know what's really nice is the people that bought that building, when they realized it was haunted, the wife is a historian, and she started looking up all this stuff. And she's written like 4 different books, and they're really good to read. And it's all the historical facts of the haunting, but they opened it up to the public to get the money to pay for the restoration. And what they've done to this building, they've literally taken something that you could barely walk in without falling through a floor and restored it historically perfectly. And I know this only from the website, and I keep following it because it's like, you know, most people is like, this is my cash grab, I'm going to be a millionaire. No, they dump it all back into the building, and I respect that. I've always been big into paranormal. Anybody who has had an experience. I grew up in a house that was haunted for about 5 years before it went away, and I have tons of stories about it, and I have tons of my friends that witnessed it. So I've always been interested, and I didn't think the show was going to go from ooh to paranormal, but we can do the ooh factor. I don't want to see ghost fuck. Ooh.
I could tell you guys about this Dogman thing that threatened me a few months back, if you want to hear it.
Yes.
Go for it.
Okay. So this was in November, though. Just so we're clear on that. There was no snow outside yet or whatever and stuff. So I know it was a Sunday because Monday was trash day the next day, and I had taken out the trash can, the recycling. Okay. And the woods, just to be clear, is when I go out to the curb, okay, at the bottom of my driveway, the woods are about 70 feet that way to my left. Okay. We're talking woods. Okay. Right. And, you know, actually, the development is mostly surrounded by the woods also. But anyway, so around maybe, I don't know, 11 o'clock, you know, the missus was like, oh, you forgot to take out the litter robot stuff. You saw one of the giant cats. Okay. Right. When you have 20-pound cats, 20-pound cats produce a lot of
5-pound.
Yes.
Carry the load.
Right. So she gives me this double bag, like 15 or 20 pounds of cat poop, okay, to take out to add to the trash. So I go walking outside. It's 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I walk down to the curb there. I lift up the trash can lid. I've got the sack in my hand. I'm about to put it in. And in the dark, right across the street from me, I couldn't see it, something growls at me, like very threateningly. Okay. And it literally, I'm going to try and do it, but my voice is nowhere near as deep, or it doesn't have the reverberation, but it went like this. It was like that. And it was kind of wet, like slavering at the end. Okay. Like that. But it was much deeper, and you felt it through the soles of your feet. Like whatever it was big, you know, and it wasn't a bear. It certainly wasn't a mountain lion or anything like that. I have no idea what it was. I didn't see it, but I knew it was big, and I knew it was close, and I knew it was threatening me the way it sounded. It really was a threatening thing. And I'm standing there holding 15 pounds of cat shit. Okay, that's my weapon. Okay, like this, and the lid's open. So I'm like, that's nice. I just drop it in, I close the lid, and then I back up without taking my eyes off because I can't see. It's pitch black out there. I back up, I go into the house. So I tell the missus what happened. She goes, oh, why don't you get your flashlight and go look for it? And I said, you know, that's a great idea. So I get my flashlight and my 45, which is, you know, in a holster on my hip, and I go back out. So I walk out to the curb. Okay, I go about 10 feet further into the street, closer to the tree line and stuff. And I got my flashlight. I'm shining it like this. And my hand's on the butt of the gun. And I'm like, come on. I'm like, come on. Come on, sweep back. I'm like, come and get some. Come on, like egging it on a little bit, you know. And I could feel it watching me. Whatever it is, it's just staring, you know, but it didn't do anything. So I was like, I even went up high. I'm like, if I see something 9 feet up like eye shine, there's, you know, I'm going to burn like fire tracks in the asphalt back into the house. So anyway, nothing comes of it or whatever. And I go back in. And then it dawned on me that the night before, because I like to go for like late night walks around here and stuff, you know, try and burn calories and stuff. And I was out walking. I usually go like for an hour or more, and it'd only been 10 or 15 minutes, and I had to take a leak. Okay. And I didn't want to go back in the house. So I had walked into the woods, like just 30 or 40 feet, and there was a fallen log there, and I peed on it. Okay, technically speaking. And then I left. So these things must mark their territory, whatever that was, by scent. And that's obviously, you're intruding now on somebody's territory. You're trying to say, like, I'm claiming this. And it obviously matched the scent to me. So it was trying to tell me, like, I will hurt you. I'm going to get you. Whatever it was trying to say. It was like, he was trying to make a point. Okay. And that's what happened. So now So now I start going out there during the day, and I put out video traps. I'm trying to get this thing on film, and I'm peeing on the trees around there to try and draw it in. And I'm bringing in all sorts of stuff. I'm getting foxes and coyotes and deer and all sorts of stuff. I mean, you'd be an incredible amount of wildlife, right? But I'm not seeing anything on camera that looks scary. Although there was 4 different incidents where at nighttime, where a deer was turning, it looks at something, and then it runs for its life. Just boom, and it just takes off like the devil was chasing it and stuff. And, you know, so like, I don't know what it was, but I did like Google it, and like about 3-4 miles from my house, there were multiple sightings over the last couple of years of what they call dog men, where families driving on a local highway with the woods on either side saw a bipedal creature that looked like a wolf, but standing up, that literally runs across the highway in front of them and leaps like 20 feet up into the trees. I don't even mean in the ground, up, and goes into the trees. Like a whole bunch of people, carload of people, saw this thing multiple times. And I'm thinking, is this possible? Is this the same creature? You know, that type of stuff. Right. And then shortly after that, for no reason, I've been here 9 years, somebody puts a sign up that says no trespassing on the edge of the entrance where the woods is, with a big blood red ribbon hanging down like that. I took a picture of it. And I'm like, that's weird. After 9 years, you know, and I see people, families going in there for hikes, and people on ATVs, and kids on bikes and stuff like that, you know, mountain bikes, whatever and stuff. And then they put this sign up out of nowhere, like just a few weeks, a month later, something like that. And it stayed up for just a couple weeks at most, or a couple days maybe, and then they took it back down. But it was just very strange, you know. I have no idea what it was.
Now you realize, of course, that the pistol would have just pissed the thing off.
Well, I got
it was a 45 though.
Still, of course, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Before you eat me, you're going to eat a lot of Hornady rounds, okay? Right. And let me tell you, it's a high capacity 45 too, not your 1911 crap. No offense.
Oh, love that.
When I was up in Alaska, they used to tell us, don't go hunting without a high caliber rifle. Don't take a handgun, because the handgun's just going to piss the bear off. So,
well, I don't know. Those Desert Eagle 50 cals are pretty badass.
They're pretty badass.
50 cal, yeah, that would probably do it.
I don't buy the whole silver bullet nonsense. Okay, we're talking about a corporeal creature. If this is some unnatural thing or whatever, stuff like that. Okay, you know, I'm sorry,
but it's still going to get hurt.
I will defend myself.
It's still going to get hurt by a 45.
That's the whole point. It may not kill it, but it's going to get hurt, and it's not going to continue to chase
it. Will not. It'll be like, oh shit, you know, and run.
Bear will.
Well, I'm a firm believer.
Bear are different.
If you put a bullet in a grizzly bear, a Kodiak, and you don't put it down, it's going to come right at you.
Of course, you pissed it off.
Yes.
Bears don't fuck around. They're like, what? You didn't kill me. You're dead.
Polar bears are the worst.
Are they?
Oh yeah, we spent plenty of time up in the Arctic, and I'm on this big ass red 400-foot icebreaker, and you would get polar bears that would growl at us. It's like, what the fuck?
My dumb ass would be down there like, oh, come here, baby.
And down in Antarctica, the leopard seals would do it. They would just sit there and growl at the ship. It's like, the fuck?
It's a shame you don't have a translator that could tell you what they're saying.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that sea lion was like, you look like Sandra Bullock. I like you. Jeff's only half laughing. He's like, I can't believe that shit came up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all about embracing my feminine side. But I think maybe Sandra Bullock is carrying it a bit too far.
You ruined her for me.
All I know is cat poop in a sack is not a good defensive weapon.
No, you're definitely not getting anywhere.
I believe that these creatures, and I've said this to a friend of mine about Bigfoot also, that carrying a firearm is actually very is a good thing, because they've probably over the centuries learned what firearms are.
Mm-hmm.
They can smell gun oil, undoubtedly. I mean, this thing could smell my urine,
Right.
including the trickle that was coming out as it was threatening me. I'm not embarrassed to say it. Just kidding, I think. But and I think that they know, like, oh, this person's armed. They don't want a piece of that. They're not stupid. So it's not like you have to go out there looking for trouble, but just having something on you can save your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you're dealing with an aggressive animal that would eat a person, etc.
I love the whole crypto thing. I don't know if you guys watch this, but Josh Gates has several different shows. One's Expedition Unknown, where he goes all these places. But I watch his other show, Expedition X, which is very close to the very first show he ever did.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get the state wrong. I want to say Tennessee, but they went to find the wild man, not Bigfoot, Sasquatch, anything like that. This is like a human that's just lived out in the wilds. You guys ever heard of this before?
Mm-mm.
Well, there's the wild man of Borneo. That was an actual.
I actually know that story too.
I thought that was Jeff, though.
Yes, Jeff. The wild man of Borneo, I don't believe, because Borneo still has cannibals to this day. They would have ate that asshole.
So does Western Samoa.
Oh, there's still cannibals too.
Sure.
One of my last tours in the Navy, we were going past Borneo, and we were getting all these news flashes coming in about, if you're going to stop in Borneo, beware that there's still cannibal tribes, and then of course the freaking pirates out there. I'm all like, God, there's still pirates. This is back in the 80s. So I was amazed, and every time I was on bridge watch, I was just waiting for pirates to come rolling up on us. I'm like, man, we are packed. I can't wait for a pirate ship to come up.
But they're not that stupid. They're not that stupid to go up against the Navy warship.
But you're looking at 19, 20-year-old Dan. I'm just out there. I'm going to get pirates today.
Yep, that's true. Now, Tim, earlier this week came up with an excellent suggestion for a future topic, which is alternate histories. So, Tim, why don't you try and explain what you mean by that? If you're still with us.
It's going to take a minute.
Yeah, I'm taking a minute.
So, in that minute,
minute,
he actually had made a comment about there was a shark in the 80s, and Diego Garcia that got so big by eating Navy food it couldn't get out of the lagoon. How long do sharks generally live? Are they like 30-year, 50-year? Anybody know?
I don't know, but it is a long time.
There was one not too long ago they found that was like 300 years old.
Really?
He's thinking of the. I think it's the Greenland shark. I think there's one that's supposed to be even one. I think they estimated 500 if that was possible. Like,
how do you figure that out though?
They have there's some sort of parasites that grow in their eyes, and they're able to annuate it based on that. And apparently, they live. They're older than this country. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
Yeah, sharks.
I didn't
for quite a while.
I knew that sea turtles were long lifers, but I didn't.
Sharks have been around in their current form for hundreds of thousands of years.
They have no reason to.
They haven't changed.
They need to adapt.
They don't need to. Yeah.
Yes.
Again,
just like alligators and crocodiles.
Crocodiles, yep.
See, and that's why when I explained to my wife that I haven't changed my clothes in 3 days, I'm like, look, I've adapted. It works. Okay. You know?
I think you're missing the point. I think you're getting it wrong.
I am saving water. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
I am a conservationist.
Yeah. When you talk about conserving and being environmentalist that way, I mean, she can't argue really.
It's environmentally sound that I should only shower once or twice a week.
God, your poor wife.
I'm your boogeyman.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tim is talking about historical events that went a different way. Inglourious Bastards, the movie by Quentin Tarantino, where Hitler gets assassinated in the end. Obviously, that didn't happen, but yeah, I think that's a good topic.
Okay.
Have any of you ever met Tarantino?
No.
I'm sorry, I'm a little person. I don't meet.
Yes, we are.
I'm a little person too.
Yes,
yeah, as he's sitting here, you ever met Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah, says the man who was a Hollywood insider.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I need to get that coin, asshole number one. Didn't realize it was being condescending. No, it's just I got a chance to meet this guy. He's an amazing guy, but listening to him and talk is exhausting because he doesn't stop.
I was going to say,
when you're face to face, he just starts going on. You get him on a click. You ask him a question, he's going to dive into 50 years of filmmaking, and you are stuck for the ride. You're like, fuck. But he's awesome. He's a very nice guy, very awesome guy. And, you know, I only met him once, and Kevin didn't. Max, you're kind of off on this. I have a background in makeup effects. I worked in that industry for a while. So I do a lot of film, and the Real Nine is the Real Nine Horror Group. We talk about horror movies, and of course Tarantino is always involved. My partner is, and you know, Kevin and I always have had this competition: who can get the movie before the other guy, who can meet somebody before the other guy. This was one of my crowning moments because I'm all, I just got through talking to Tarantino for 5 hours, and he's all like, "What? Oh my God, this is amazing." I'm like, "No, I wish you would have done this one, man."
Yeah. That's awesome, though.
By the way, I gave him a poster I got from Peter Jackson for Meet the Feebles. I gave it to him. That fucker went and got it signed when he met him, and I'm all like, fuck. I gave you my poster, and you got it signed.
Aww.
Yeah, Peter Jackson is one twisted dude. All you got to do is look at his first movie, Bad Taste.
Bad Taste. His first.
That is his first 3 movie. But you can see bits and pieces of it, even in Lord of the Rings, when you know, like somebody's head explodes.
Yeah.
You can see
origins are in everything he does.
Yep.
Now the only film that he made that I was not that crazy about was the film that he always wanted to do, King Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what?
Having Jack Black is the.
See, okay, I'm glad you said that. Now I'm not the asshole. Bringing Jack Black in, you ruined your freaking production right there.
Jack Black is a great co-star. He's a great supporting actor. He's a lousy starring actor. And
he's just different.
What was that John Cusack? What was that John Cusack movie? High Fidelity.
Oh.
Yeah, High Fidelity, John Cusack. Jack Black plays this secondary character. And he's fucking hilarious. But you get him on his own, and he's like, this guy's a fucking idiot.
He was great in Tropic Thunder. I liked him in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. He was. Yeah. But he wasn't the lead.
No, he wasn't.
He
had another.
As long as he's not the lead, Jack Black's sense of comedy works.
Yeah.
But if he's the lead, it just, in my opinion, ruins everything.
Yeah.
You know?
He sucked in Goosebumps.
Yeah. So Jen, how many words you at now?
39.
35 as of this morning.
39,000.
Congratulations.
I'm actually pretty proud of myself, you know, dealing with everything that I've been dealing with. Let me just say, July sucks. It's a terrible month. Had a lot of stuff happen this month in the last couple of weeks that was unnecessary and didn't need to happen, and yet it did. And so I'm actually pretty proud of myself. I still was able to write at least, I got quite a few. 4, 5, 6, maybe I'd say a good between 8 and 10,000 for the month of July so far. So that's not too bad. Could be better. Should be better, but
as long as you're writing, it doesn't matter. I'm sure Max will back me up on this.
Yeah.
It's like going to the gym. To get in the routine of going to the gym, it's easy to maintain it. Anything knocks you off that routine, and it's hard as shit to go back to it.
Yeah.
Writing's the same way. If you get into a groove where you're doing it every day, it's easy to keep doing it every day. But if you get distracted by some shiny object, if you go away from it for a week or so, it's like getting back to writing it's just horrible. It's hell.
Yeah. I have to get an external hard drive, as I have soon, as I discovered this last week when I almost had a scare and almost lost everything. So
set up a secondary email, and at the end of every writing session, email what you've written, email your work in progress, the whole thing, to yourself.
Okay.
That way,
I know a lot of people have said that too.
That way, you've got at least 3 copies.
Right. And external hard drive is a good way to go too.
Yeah, a lot of people said, what are those? The flash drives, the external drives, and
I go for external
email
drive more than the flash. Maybe it's just because my age. You know, when my computer goes fritzy, I can fix it. It's not a big deal, but I can still lose stuff. So I use external hard drives for everything. So if my computer takes a dump on me,
you have it all
still right there. I just have to go in and fix the operating system, and then I'm back up and running.
Yeah.
So Tim asked what writing program y'all use. I use WordPerfect. It's cheaper, and you don't have to pay an annual fee for it, and it gives you everything you want. What about you, Max? What do you use?
Crayons at this point. I'm like, and I use boogers if I'm desperate.
As long as you're not eating the crayons or your boogers.
You know, that's what I had the conversation with that phone solicitor where he called up and I pretended to be like a 9-year-old that was home alone.
Oh, God.
With your deep voice?
Yeah, I know. He was like, but your voice is so deep. I said, I know. I've been teased about that my whole life. Are you going to give me a hard time too? He's like, no. So I'm selling this. We were awarding these free vacations for to Florida and the Caribbean. Do you have a credit card? I'm like, I'm 9. Is your father home? No, he's at the Raunchy Rodeo. He goes to Raunchy Rodeo. I'm like, he's like, what's that? I said, it's one of those clubs that men go to where girls take their clothes off. And he's like, what? And I said, yeah, wait. First he asked me, oh no. Well, if I was home alone, I said, yeah, and I'm really hungry. I said, I need food. He goes, you don't have anything to eat? I said, nothing but crayons. I said, I've tried them. The brown ones, I pretend they're chocolate, but it's not the same. Then he started pushing the whole thing about where my dad was and all. And then I said, yeah, it's this club, and women take their clothes off. I think they call it a strip club. And he goes, I think it must be about cougars because they're all hairy, and they have like, I think it's something to do with cats, like the hair there or something. I have pictures. Do you want to see? And he's like, no. And I said,
no way.
And then he's like, should call my dad. I said, I'm sure he'd love to go to the Caribbean with you. I said, and we'll be happy to do that. I said, what credit card do you have right now? And then he hung up on me finally. Anyway, so to answer your question, I just use Microsoft Word, except for writing screenplays, obviously. Then, there's a different program that obviously has to be used for that. So Final Draft is the name of it. But yeah, I just do Microsoft Word, and I learned the hard way, like 18 years ago, when I lost a full chapter of the very first Cronus Rising book that wasn't saved properly. Yep. Okay, and I had to rewrite it. Okay, and a whole chapter. We're talking 15 pages, 450 words a page. That's a lot. It's like 6,000 words lost. Okay, God. But so every time I email to myself, to multiple accounts, etc. I mean, a hard drive backup is fine, but if something happens to the physical drive, she wants something in space on email servers at other locations, etc., so that you're backed up. Because the worst thing that could happen is you finish a book and then you lose it. Can you imagine 6 months of your life into a novel and it's gone?
Oh, that's what I was feeling that day when I'm like, what do you mean my computer can't open this file? What do you mean it's corrupted? And then I'm looking at it, I'm going, oh my God, I literally cannot get this thing open. It took me, I think, a good half an hour to finally finagle and get around and recover my writing. So I'm like, oh shit, that was really scary.
You really have to, because I mean, it's your heart and soul that you put in blood, sweat, tears, your imagination. Yeah. I mean, like the work that goes in. I mean, you heard a little bit of what I do. You create all this stuff and you perfect it and you edit it, and you polish it, and and I'm a perfectionist when it comes to this stuff. And if you were to lose all that,
even losing part of it, just it makes your heart hurt.
Yeah,
your heart is just breaking.
I almost melted down for sure.
Get the novel written in crayon.
Do I have that little book that she wrote? Let me just see. My daughter, when she was like 4 or 5 years old, she wrote a little book called "If You Give a Chicken Cheese" or something like that.
Oh, that's cute.
And I had it somewhere in one of my drawers here. I wanted to read it and torture people, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my hands on it because my desk is a disaster. If you give a chicken cheese, what's this one?
You want to see disaster?
I found it.
Holy crap!
Oh my God.
Most of that's research material.
That'll work. Look, if you give a chicken cheese, okay?
That's so cute.
I'm going to read this. It says created by Ava. And look, there's the chicken. And there's the
God.
Okay, hold on. If you give a chicken cheese, it will want some ham and bread. Illustrated, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Wait. This is an actual book. There are pages. Then he will want some water. And there's page numbers. When he has his water, she spelled heel, H-E-E-L. He'll want a straw, too. And look, there's a straw. It's like the number 7.
Oh, okay. It's a bendy straw.
The bendy straw, yeah.
Wait. Then he will want to go to bed. Then he will want a story. I think that was a message for me to come up to a story. Okay. You just look. There's a little book, and it has the moon and the star and everything.
Aww.
The chicken goes to bed after eating his cheese. Then the chicken takes a nap. Then he will get up. This is
an editor.
No, this is an I'm probably my editor. Then he wants to play. Then he will, I don't know if this is want or meet a friend. Hold on. Then he made a new friend. They played hide and go seek. Okay.
Crazy chicken.
I'm telling you.
Got a better social life than I do.
Oh, well, it's getting better. Wait. Then they had to go home. It's chicken A, piglet B. Apparently the friend is a piglet. They waved. See, there's the wing and the pig foot. Okay. You guys made me suffer through some stuff earlier, so about pools.
This is great.
Wait. It started to snow. Okay. Chicken. Oh, Chicken realized it was his birthday, okay, with a cake, and realized it's spelled R-E-L-I-S-E-D. Remember, she was like 5, okay? He celebrated, okay? He and Piglet with 2 P's had a play date. Catch! Okay?
Oh, my God.
Wait. I want to see how many more pages. How big is this book? I'm going to try and speed this up. Then they will have a picnic. Then they explored. I'm going to cut you guys a break and accelerate this. Then they went to Piglet's tree house. Then they went to the store. There's a lot. This is an action thriller. Okay, now.
Wow.
Then he went home. Then he wanted cheese.
Again?
And then he'll probably want bread and ham. The end.
I thought this was going to an omelet with 1 egg. I thought that's where we were. I think
Good
she had
for her. Good for her for bringing it back around, though.
That's right.
She did.
awesome.
Good job.
So this is my inspiration. Okay.
That's good inspiration.
Very creative for a 5-year-old.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very.
We have surpassed the 2-hour mark. So Matt, tell us what you got coming up.
Yes, please.
Well, for dinner, I'm probably going to have some. You meant like
ham and cheese.
I want some cheese now after all that. Actually,
yeah,
even cheese whiz.
Oh, Tim! God damn it!
Kind of dark playing with a pig, then wanting ham. Well, she is my daughter, and actually, if you look on my Facebook page right now, okay, let's see. It was just a couple of days ago because I shared it again. Hold on, here it is. This is from 2015, so that was 8 years ago. So she was 5 or 7 years ago. 7 years or 6. It's a drawing of Megan the Dragon, and she told me she's eating a dead frog, and she has blood on her face because she already took a few bites. So there's a drawing of a dragon with blood on its face and a dead frog lying like this. Okay.
She's a horror artist in the making.
Yes. So that being said, I think darkness, comes to the territory, like the song "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend."
Yes.
By Simon and Garfunkel for saying this on the show, whatever, this type of stuff. But anyway, so what do I have going on? Well, let's see. I am juggling multiple projects. I just had an interview that just came out as a press release right now because in my fossil explorations, I discovered that I have physical confirmation that a prehistoric species of shark called Hemipristis, which is like a 20-foot snaggle shark. It had teeth like a tiger shark, but nastier.
Yeah.
I have a tooth. I'll be right back.
Oh, boy.
It's not far. Don't worry.
Loves them water creatures.
Me too.
I really honestly think it's pretty cool.
I do too. You missed the conversation.
I did.
Yeah. I'm just amazed by sea life.
Yeah. Oh no, it's really sweet.
At least Olaf is getting sleep. So, back in the Miocene period, there was a species of shark called Hemipristis, which was the size of a great white, and it had these nasty ass teeth. If you could see those.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
If you look close,
yes,
very serrated. Okay. So this thing was like a tiger shark on steroids. And the theory has been that they may have eaten megalodon babies in the nurseries because the adult megalodons, the cows, would give birth to their pups in shallow, warm water. And the pups would hide in and around mangroves and things like that where they'd be safe from predators before they went out to sea. Because if you're a 6 or 7 foot megalodon and you're swimming oceans filled with 20, 25 foot mako sharks, prehistoric makos, and larger megalodons and 40 foot Chubbutensis sharks, etc., you're a snack. Okay. Yeah. So like the Goliath groupers do, these giant fish that we have today, the babies grow up in relative safety until they're big enough to survive in the wild, and then they go out into the ocean. Okay. So they theorized that because they found the teeth in the same areas there that might have been happening. So I actually have proof of it because this baby megalodon tooth, which you're not going to be able to see because it's really hard, okay, but if you're able to look at it close and it's on the release, the thing that just came out, okay, there are these chew marks on it, these serrated clusters of rips in the enamel.
Oh, wow.
And those match perfectly with a Hemipristis serrations, which means that a big Hemipristis shark killed this baby megalodon, which was probably 7 or 8 feet long at most, okay, and was savaging it so badly that it was ripping the shark's face apart even there, and even chewing into its teeth as it was tearing it in pieces and eating it. Probably more than one of them because they're feeding frenzies, attack and stuff. Okay. So we just did a little piece on that I did an interview out that they just put out that shows, and it's got a great photo close up of the tooth so you can see these tears grow into it and stuff. So life was tough for a megalodon baby because you're in the great hammerhead was eating them. And once they got bigger, then they had to worry about what was going to eat you further out. So before you became top of the food chain, you start off lower on the food chain, and there are other predators that will take advantage of that as a food source, obviously, and so forth. So that's one thing I got so much stuff going on. It's like crazy. And by the way, if you need a blurb for your book, like if you want me to write you a little something, yeah, let me know. We'll talk.
Cool.
Oh, we're talking.
Or anybody else. I'm always trying to help other authors and stuff. I like when people bother me and they want a book, I've always pushed them, towards other writers that I know, like Ryan Lockwood has his books and stuff like that. So, but I'm happy to help out. If there's anything I can do, you guys just let me know.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Okay, so I've got the last one in the series of my zombie series. Is up for pre-order, coming out August 30th. I just wrote a film review for Mara Garcia on The Bold Mom. So it should be coming out in the next couple of days. Monday, Scott Baker and I are doing a history podcast on Nazis and the occult in the 20s and 30s, so that should be a lot of fun.
I'm going to be sitting in on that one. I'll be in the audience.
Cool, very good.
It's a good show.
I'm going to try to be.
It's at a different time. It's 9 p.m. Eastern instead of 8. Because
I should be able to.
Dinner late. Yeah, so it's like 6 o'clock our time, Jen.
Okay. Well, actually, I'll be on my way to Ohio. So I'll be sitting at probably Phoenix Airport, being able to watch it. So.
By the time she'll be rising. She'll find that note, that post-it I left on the refrigerator that said some unpleasant things. And you left the toilet seat up again.
Yeah. I actually am not one of the women who complain about that. I actually just put it down. It's really not that big of a deal for me.
How hard is that?
I know.
But my question is, well, wait, maybe it should be left up for us. I mean, why does it have to be down all the time? Now,
it doesn't.
About this. I mean,
the only reason that I want the lid down on the whole toilet is so that my dogs don't drink out of it, and then try and kiss my face afterwards. Put the lid down. It's not a toilet seat issue. It's the lid issue.
Yeah, I draw the line. I draw the line at toilet breath.
He's right. Actually, I do the same thing because we have cats.
Yeah. They're just as bad as dogs.
They would be in there
playing around.
Not good. Not good.
No.
So, okay, before Mac turns this into a musical.
Listen. My T-Rex Kids song was #2 on the World Indie Charts last Christmas season for 3 weeks straight.
I believe that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If you're a good shot, you don't need to raise it.
Tyrannosaurus for Christmas. Every kid should have a dinosaur for Christmas. But anyway, so before I turn this into a musical, go ahead. You were saying. I apologize.
Final thoughts, everybody. Jen?
I hate cars.
Completely out of left field, but okay.
It's
But
the gas.
that's my MO. Actually, it's the car repair shops that I can't stand.
Yeah.
In particular, one in particular out here in Arizona. We're just going to leave it at that.
Excellent. Avoid lawsuits at all costs. Good plan.
Yeah.
Dungeon Dan, what about you?
Final thoughts, Max. You are awesome. I really hope that we can be
A lot
on
of fun.
another show together. This was a great time. I've learned more than I ever thought I would about sea life and sharks.
Thank you. I'm honored, honestly.
Thank you.
And it's great because you guys. Well, it's great being on here because you see, my daughter never lets me talk. See, like when we go in public, I'm always like, shh. She's always like, shh, be quiet, no talking, don't embarrass me. You know, I'm allowed to talk. So here I can come out and I can get it out of my system. And I'm going to encourage her to write a sequel called "If You Give a Chicken Pastrami."
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yes.
But I'm concerned about the conservation aspects of her first one.
The cheese.
Well, you got to figure the chicken's all bound up, all that cheese and cheese.
But they eat all that grain all the time, so they've got all this fiber.
That could
See?
be possible. It could be
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah, I mean,
Chicken tries to poop.
the
I'm
gas.
just going with chicken lays the egg, you crack it, you have an omelet ready. Got all your ingredients right there.
If you've ever,
That's kind of ooh, though, isn't it? Yeah.
if you've ever smelled a chicken farm, ugh.
Never been that close.
A guy I used to go to school with lived on one, and oh my God!
Worse
You
than a
know,
bulldog.
you know, back home in Ohio, you're allowed to have a certain number of chickens on your land,
Yeah.
even in a residential area. And let me tell you, it's not nice. They stink.
I got in trouble because when she was in kindergarten, I jokingly told her, I said, Peanut, do you know how a chicken curses somebody out? And she's like, no. And I said, they go, buck, buck, buck you, buck you. And, go, buck yourself. And
Tell that to her teacher?
I got a call.
Yeah, you would.
Mr. Hawthorne, could you come down to speak to us, please?
Oh, boy.
But me, never one to take these things lying down. I walk in, and there's the principal talking to two moms, and on a table there, they've got all these ceramic mushrooms that they made, the kids. I have it. I could show you it right now, one of them. All these years I've had it in my display case with my fossils. It's a ceramic mushroom with jewels and stuff, okay? Like, you know, not real jewels, obviously, but an ornate-looking mushroom. So I walk in and I'm like, hey, you want to see me? And then I stop and I look and I go, oh, I said, I see you've got them doing mushrooms. And all the moms were like this. It's like, I don't know how to respond to that. Oh, because I didn't say anything wrong.
Oh, my God.
I said the truth. You know, if you can't, you know, play in the big leagues, you know.
Yeah.
That's true.
Think fast, lady.
That's right.
Oh, Timothy.
Timothy. Tim, as always, has the final thought. Why don't we call hemorrhoids asteroids? And on that note, thank you everybody for coming on. Thank you, Max. It was great.
It was
sorry you didn't have the full experience. We'll have to get you back on when everybody's here.
Yeah.
Because then we essentially laugh for 2 straight hours.
Yeah.
And actually, the next one, I'll be in the presence of Jason. So that ought to be very fun.
Yeah,
very fun. Between Jason, Jen, Ricky Fleet.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, oh, my God. This is just the best playground ever. I look forward to
a riot.
Every other
week.
So, yes, Max, we'll have to have you back on here sometime.
Yes. It would be an honor and a privilege.
Thanks, as always, to Tim Brooks and anybody else that watched us. And
Carl Meadows, thank you.
Carl Meadows for leaving a comment.
Thank you, Carl.
sorry about the weather out there in Florida, Jerry. We'll get you on.
Yeah.
It would be good, Dex, because I have so many actual people who are characters in my zombie series. I thought it'd be cool to have one of them here on the padded room. So, Jerry, well, we'll get him on here sometime.
I don't know. I just looked it up. There's no storm in Florida. I don't think he wanted to come.
No, he showed me a picture of it. So wherever he was.
Shit starter! You're a shit starter!
You're just stirring up shit, dude.
Okay, hurry up before he starts more.
Isn't that what they on Facebook they call that a conversation starter? That's what they. Yeah.
I'm just poking the bear.
They have me listed as a conversation starter in groups, like this little badge. And I'm like, you mean a troublemaker? A rabble rouser? Honestly.
A shit starter.
Yeah.
Starter. Oh, my God.
I had to do it. Jen was so shocked. I'm sorry. But, when you get a chance to poke fucking Jeff at, in the belly, you have to take it.
You do.
Don't you feel violated now? And not in a good way either.
No, because revenge will be sweet.
Oh my God!
Oh, it's gonna be hysterical. I'm willing to take that revenge.
Excellent.
The risk is worth it.
Next time we will see you again in 2 weeks for our 13th episode.
Oh, we gotta have a good subject.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, goodbye, everybody. Thanks for everybody for coming, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.